Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I am Nancy Quinn, and I am here today with Teresa Schlupp of Caffeine Creative, web designer extraordinaire. And you do a lot with the marketing as well. Once you do somebody's website, you help them figure out how to make that visible to more people. So I always want to mention that right from the beginning. So hello, Teresa.
Hello, thank you for having me. I always love doing these videos.
I know, and I'm happy to be live with you. Leslie's been doing a lot of lives lately, so I'm here today. So today we're talking about the art of designing a standout home page, which is really important and probably one of the hardest things to do, because I always think, what do I want the client or potential client to do once they get to my homepage? And as the CEO of my own business, my brain gets all confused. Well, if they're at this stage, I want them to do this. And if they're that, this, that. And designers are the same way. So talk to us. Give us some advice.
So one of the things I want to bring up first, because this is one that I hear a lot, is when we're thinking about what we want our homepage to be, we go and we looked at the really well-established businesses. And I'm talking like the big ones. Like I cannot tell you how many times somebody has said, well, I want it to look like Nate Berkus, or I want to look like Studio McGee. I want. And the problem that you run into with that is a lot of times they have this great big flashy hero image that says, click here to enter our site. And that's all that their homepage is.
Yes.
That is one of the worst things that you can do as you were trying to get discovered as an interior designer. Yes. You do not have a following of Nate Berkus or Studio McGee or Joanna Gaines or any of the other people. You don't have that kind of following. You don't have that kind of audience. You don't have people hanging on your every word. Yes. You have a few hundred to 1,000-ish followers, depending on your platforms, and you need to be showing up in the best possible way. And so this is where you want to create a visual guide that is going to take potential clients on a journey through your website, starting with that homepage, because believe it or not, a lot of people are not going to leave the homepage. They're not going to look at your about
at all. They're just going to stay there.
They're not. Like it depends on the psychology of your clients, and that's a whole big other topic. Yeah. And there's multiple psychologies involved, but you have some people who want to quickly skim, know what you're about, and then book you if it feels right. Other people want to dig deep, and they want to go in and know your story and know your experience and read more about your services. But the key to getting them doing either one of those, because both are a win, is to having a homepage that is going to grab their attention and get them wanting to know more about you.
Okay, so how do we do that?
So the first thing I want to say is first impressions really do matter. So you want to make it incredible. Yes, when you have people come to your website, you want them to book a discovery call and sign up for your email and get this freebie and look at your services and do all those things. But you have 5 seconds or less to capture their attention. And all of that is going to be overwhelming. So what is the one most important thing in this moment you need them to do? That is what you want to focus on at the top of your homepage. Maybe it is the freebie, because that freebie is going to lead them to a discovery call in a really powerful way and then lead them into a service. Maybe it's the discovery call itself. Most of the time, I'm going to say it's the discovery call itself.
I was going to say, I think it's the discovery call, but I think this is a great conversation because it is so confusing. And I get asked as the business coach, which should I be driving them to, my freebie or my consult? And I always go, the money thing comes first.
The money comes first.
Right. And then, of course, the second thing, if they're not interested in booking the consult, you want to quickly be able to hopefully get them to download your free opt-in, because then you can nurture them and maybe
you can nurture them. Right. I will say there have been a few occasions when I'm like, I think let's try it. Let's see what happens with the free opt-in, because that free opt-in is so stellar and so outstanding and so incredible and so amazing that it leads them to a discovery call. That is less than 1% of the people that I work with. So that, for the most part, I'm 100% in agreement with you. Get them in a consult, get them on a phone call, get them on a Zoom call, whatever the case is. Do that quick 15-minute free consult, because that is going to be your best bet. So rather than saying, here's everything about me in 5 seconds or less, this isn't speed dating.
Right.
This is a nurturing aspect. get really clear and design with that clarity. So what is it that you want them to do first? And how are you going to help them? So as a designer, you're like, I will help you create the home of your dreams, in which you want to be a little bit more crafty and clever with that. But that's what I'm going to deliver. Here's a button to get started. As simple as that.
Yeah.
Then the rest of the page, I want you to I tell a lot of my clients to kind of think of it as the table of contents of a book or the chapter listing of a book. You know, when you're starting a new book, like I started this new book this morning, I'm reading a sample and I'm like, do I want to buy it? Do I not want to buy it? I'm on the fence. I'm going to go look at the list of chapters to see what else it explores in this book. That's your homepage. So it's the chapters of who you are as a business. It's going to talk about a little bit about you, your personality, who you are, and give them a call to action that allows them to learn more about you if they've read something that resonates and they want to dig more into your story. Probably aren't going to click on it. There's a good chance. Some will, though, and that is powerful because that's relationship building happening there. Okay.
So you gave a statistic before. Is that one that you're sort of projecting, you're guessing, or that's a true statistic?
No, I'm guessing. I'm 100% guessing, but I do know this. This is a statistic, and this is one I got from a book years ago, so it could have shifted and changed.
Okay, but still around 1% of people will download your free opt-in. So if you're getting 100 people to your website, one may.
Honestly, and I've been doing this web.
It's a good perspective, Teresa. That's why I'm actually like drawing attention to it, because so many times, and you and I have talked about this before, someone will say to me, no one's downloading my free opt-in. And I'm like, okay, you might have a traffic problem. Not enough people are coming to your website, and that's a different problem than creating a standout homepage. Right.
Well, and we're in a world too, and this is a little bit of a side note, but I think it's worth happening. We're in a world too where that free opt-in may be fabulous. It may have great content, but we want immediate, instant gratification. We have TikTok, we have YouTube Shorts, we have all the things to give us that same information quickly. So to go through the effort of sharing.
Sorry, Teresa, hold on.
Yes.
Sorry, I literally knew this was going to happen when I was live, and I always try to prevent it, but I can't.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs.
I was waiting for your dog to bark, which would make my dog bark. But okay, so
yeah,
go ahead.
What I'm saying is where were we? We were talking about the freebie and how nobody's downloading my freebie. You may have a fabulous, stellar freebie, but until I'm ready to dig in and spend time, devote precious time to you, I'm not going to download it. I'm not going to share my email address, and I'm not going to download it. And that has nothing against you as a person, but I could take that same concept, just like that sample book I was reading this morning. I went to go see, is there a video that gives me the same information? So
and it's funny you said that, because I was having this vision of, man, I should change my free download to just a 10-minute video, something someone can absorb, or 5-minute or 2-minute, something someone can absorb right away.
Quick and easy. So that's why I really say you want to put more emphasis on the journey of the homepage, getting people to know you, getting people to book with you because you have something of interest, than focusing on your freebie. In all honesty, a freebie is a long-term plan, and it's something that is not the high priority that it once was.
Okay, got it.
Okay. The other thing when it comes to crafting that homepage is you do want to have a balance of visuals and text. Going back to that, experience, I've had people who say, well, I just want one big awesome image with a button that says, click here to enter my site. You just gave me homework. Like, I have to have an extra click to learn more about you. You just gave me.
A lot of people are doing that now, and I'm not in love with it either, but it's definitely something that I'm noticing.
If you are well known and have a Netflix series, people are willing to do the click for you. But if you are just getting started and people don't know you, you're not a household name, don't give us more work, because we don't want to do it.
It's almost like the feeling I'm trying to make myself look more important and look bigger than I am. And I'll relate this to another subject. When people ask me, should I be a we, even though I'm an I? I'm a solopreneur, but maybe I should be saying we, because it makes people feel like I'm a bigger company. And I'm like, don't do that. Be who you are. Same as your website. Don't try to be
more than you are. And honestly, I was at a couple of years ago, you know this, I was moving towards creating that agency aspect. And as I was moving in that direction to create an agency, I started doing a we. And all of a sudden, the expectations and the people that I were attracting were not who I wanted. It wasn't a good fit. And
Yes.
they had expectations of a we delivering when it was still me building an agency. So I say, don't do that. Just be very genuine and be yourself. Be the I. People will appreciate that honesty. Sometimes people look for that because it's a little bit more of an intimate relationship and a
That's
little
what
bit
I
more
say. You know what?
personalized.
That's what I say.
I
Somebody
would,
may want
yeah,
that intimate relationship and make sure they're getting you. They don't want a bigger interior design company. They want a smaller, more personal feeling. So they're going to be, if that's your ideal client, then go with that.
absolutely, absolutely. So don't go in that direction until you are the agency and present yourself. Be who you are and own that, because who you are is pretty incredible. So doing that. But back to that homepage, balancing the visuals with the text. You've got to have text, okay? If you want people, now I'm not the SEO expert, that is Robin, but when it comes to some basics of SEO, you've got to have content on your page. And I know that as a web designer, you've got to have content on your page. If you don't have some written words on your page to tell the world what you're about and who you are, and you just have some big flashy image, you're not going to get indexed. You're not going to have a good SEO presence. You're not going to have people finding you organically and naturally. And then you're going to have to rely on other avenues of marketing, which are probably going to cost you money. So use a balance of visuals, your work as much as possible, or stock images that represent your work until you have good quality images, and written text that talks about who you are and how you make their lives better.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. That's
Yep.
two.
Last, let's see, going back, call to actions. Okay. I cannot tell you how many times I'm scrolling through doing an audit and I'm like, I have to scroll back to the top to click contact, to click discover call, to go to the discover call to book it. And that's a lot of steps. The fewer the steps, the more likely people are going to engage. So you want those call to actions throughout your homepage. You want to make it easy for them to go to your about page if they want to know more about you, without having to scroll to the top. You want to have a discovery call, probably multiple places within the homepage, depending on the length of it. If it's a shorter homepage, one or two is fine, but you want to have it really easy and present. And like I often tell people, you want to make action accessible when they're inspired to take action. So when they have that powerful statement that said, I'm going to make your home exactly what you want, and they're like, yes, that's what I want, you want a button right there for them to take action so that they don't have time to think, do I want to book this, as they scroll back up to the top.
Yeah, this is actually something I learned in a marketing in-person live event years ago. Even in a landing page like we do, where, do you need coaching? We'll give a little bit of information about it, then a button. Then it'll be, this is what we expect the results of our coaching will be. Did that inspire you? Click here. Oh, wait, here's some testimonials of people who've taken the academy before. Then there's a button. So whatever inspired them going down the page, there's a button for them to click whenever they got inspired.
And they could take immediate action before they had a second to overthink. And we will overthink in less than a second. So make it super easy. Make it quick and easy. And then speaking of testimonials, that's another thing. Start gathering those testimonials. Don't give me long, lengthy testimonials, and don't give me testimonials that Nancy is awesome. You should hire her. Why is Nancy awesome?
Right.
Nancy helped me increase my profitability by 200% when I coached with her. Boom. That's to the point. So you want to get those kind of testimonials, those really juicy little tidbits that I like to call them, and have them pop out. And then again, follow it up with a call to action in the viewpoint to make it easy for them to take action and to do that. So
everything we talk about makes so much sense. And I know everyone who's listening live or on replay is like, yeah, I got to do that. I got to do that. And somehow when you sit down at your desk and you're looking at your own things, you get locked up. It's almost like looking at a blank page. And then you start getting stuck in your head. Well, this is what I want them to know. I want to make sure they know this. I mean, I just did a lesson in one of my academy groups yesterday. I said, change your shoes, change your shirt, pick up your computer, go in another room, and you are now your ideal client. You are that person who's looking for an interior designer.
Yeah.
Go and do the Google search, then find the website and go, am I saying what that person needs to hear? Right? Put yourself in a role play. And immediately, like when I do that, I go, oh my God, my website's so complicated. It's not good. We overthought it. Now we got to redo it, right? You see it differently when you do that.
And we've talked about that many times over the years. Go to a coffee shop, like you said, change your clothes, get a laptop, get something, take yourself out of work mode and go look at things and see, am I showing up for the clients?
I'm the consumer. How does it feel? Would I hire me? Or honestly, if you're not your ideal client, then hand it to someone who possibly could be, and then get their opinion as to whether they would hire you. And I think we're frozen. Or Teresa's frozen. I don't know if I'm frozen. Can anyone tell me in the comments if I'm frozen? And let me go look. All right, I cannot figure it out whether we're frozen or not, and no one's responding that I can see, so we might be frozen. Okay, I'm watching my other screen to see if we are live because Teresa is gone, and I don't know whether we are live again or not. But we froze, so I'm going to wait and see if Teresa comes back in. Okay, I'm assuming we're frozen. I'm going to shut it down, and we'll see you next time.